Hello, and welcome to Together Forward's YouTube channel. I'm Annette Blankenship. For the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about the six-part strategic management system that we use here at Together Forward called StratOp. And last week, we talked about planning. If you missed the last 3 episodes, check out the links below to get caught up. In this week's video, we're going to dive into step 3, action, where we talk about prioritizing, setting your team up for success, communicating, and taking action so you can get to where you want to be. We talked last week about planning. Planning is about where we are headed. It wasn't about a detailed action plan, but understanding directionally where we need to go as an organization. In this planning phase, we're using all the information that we discussed in the perspective phase. We got clear on our areas of focus. We aligned on the core issues that emerged, the vision, the mission, our values, and the values of our primary customer. We clearly see where we need to go. We decided on the new ideas and opportunities that we needed to do to support that overall big picture vision based on what would provide the most value. We determined at the highest level what our roadmap for the greatest success should be. Like a ship with a GPS in the middle of the sea, that roadmap is now our North Star and is going to ground us when those winds get choppy. It's going to help keep us on track, steady, on course, and prevent us from being unfocused and misdirected. So now we're ready for action, right? No, we still have a lot more to do before we can send our teams off to execute on our plan. During the action phase, we need to do 6 things to execute it well. We need to, number 1, select and prioritize our action initiative profiles. We'll need to gather all of these actions that we've captured during our perspective phase, and we'll need to prioritize it in light of what we decided in our planning phase. We'll need to make decisions on where the action initiatives need to be at the top of our priority list. We'll move any tactical things to another list that will delegate out to somebody else, but our focus right now is on something a lot bigger. We're going to want to focus on these big picture initiatives. We don't want to commit to too much, right? Since we have finite resources after all. And we're going to focus on these resources, our people, our money, and we're going to take them and we're going to take a look at them and make sure that our prioritized initiatives happen. So we're going to create an alignment there of our resources, our finances, our people, our energy, our time. And as a leadership team, we're going to work towards keeping this list small. For large organizations, we might be able to take on as many as 12 initiatives. For smaller companies, this may look like 3 to 5. All that's going to depend on the size, complexity, and the amount of resources that you have in your organization. But this prioritized list will help us to focus our people, our money, our leadership team's time, and anything else. Now, anything that is not high performing is going to need some attention. So we'll have to build action initiative plans around those. Some are going to be strategic and others are going to be operational. However, they're all going to need that same cross-functional leadership team's attention to adequately and holistically solve for both today and tomorrow. And we'll also need to be involved with the progress of the implementation. But number 2, we're going to look at the high-level implementation planning. We're going to be able to, we've worked really hard to get to this level, right? So we've gained a lot of perspective and we know what we want out of our action initiative plans. If we leave the room now and just pass it off to our team, we're not going to be guaranteed that we're going to be successful, right? Probably more like a 50-50. Why do I say 50-50? Well, let's talk statistics for just a moment. PMI reports show that only 56% of strategic initiatives are successful. They say that strategy execution is often to blame. As a leadership team, you've set the direction of your company by planning it out, by defining our mission, our objectives, and just outlining the initiatives of what we need to execute on. However, we have to be clear about what each initiative needs to achieve in order to be successful. To do that, we have to set clear goals for each action initiative. And not just goals, we got to talk about what timelines we expect, what our milestones are, what our budgets are. We need to define those critical stakeholders as well that need to be on the team and what measures we need for success. If you don't know what milestones are, they're just those big pieces along the plan that need to get accomplished to make sure that we stay on track. Now, to do all of this, we're going to need to dive in a little deeper and define what the initiative is really about, what its desired outcome is, and enough specific guidance and information so that we can give the initiatives to our next level leaders and they can be clear on what our expectations are and what the leadership team had in mind when they created this an action initiative. So creating this whole profile is going to outline for your team, and it's going to help you to delegate these, exactly what you want to get out of them, to your next level leaders. Creating and laying out this action initiative profile is also going to give that next level leadership team enough information for that success that they desperately need in order to be able to align their teams. And so you're going to also assign somebody from your executive leadership team to be on point, to answer questions, and to be that executive overseer for the entire initiative. And we're going to add this action initiatives list to our plan on a page that we talked about last week to continue to keep us focused. Now you're ready for the next step. Now, that next step is going to be training your next level leadership team. Before you roll out or delegate this action initiative plan, you're going to want to train that next level leadership team to be open and gain insights the same way you and your leadership team did from the executive perspective in creating this overall strategy through perspective. You're going to want to make sure that they're trained on the same exact principles of getting to that perspective, of getting the truth of the whole by working through those issues cross-functionally as a team together. So number 4 is organizational communication. Now that we've got everything laid out on our plan on the page, including our action initiative plans, we're going to get our executive leaders assigned to those action initiative plans and the next level leaders for that accountability. We want to share everything with our whole organization, and we're going to want to do a big celebration meeting to just help motivate and inspire that whole team. A kickoff meeting of sorts that's going to help the team to see the vision and the way we're expected to work and what's important now and how it's all going to roll out. We're setting the team up for success by communicating with them and setting those expectations. Now, number 5, we're going to go. You're ready to go. Now that you've prioritized those initiatives, you've laid out the specifics of each one of those initiatives, you've trained your next level leaders, and you've communicated to your entire organization, we're all set up for success. Now just release them and go. So number 6, even though you want to go, let them go, you're going to want to kind of pull them back for a minute and just to make sure that you are continuing and that you want to allow some time for them to come back and review and work through the information that you've given them. So you've got these action initiative plans, you've given it to them based on the high levels that you've created, and you've given them some time to go back to their teams and their stakeholders and work through the details of that. Using that same perspective. So you're going to have all of that. Well, now you want them to come back and you want them to check in with you to see how they're doing. So you want to have the leaders of those teams come back and review their analysis, review their next steps, review the things that they've discovered, so that you can make sure that everyone continues to be on the same page, has that same perspective, and moving in the same direction. You're going to want to have those regular ongoing meetings to find out how those initiatives are tracking weekly with your executive leadership team. This keeps your leaders accountable to share what's going on. And you as the executive team, in conjunction with those leaders, that agenda is just going to be focused on getting an update to those initiatives, breaking down any barriers, and keeping the initiative moving and staying in perspective and aligned with each other. You'll also want a recurring deep dive meeting with those next level leaders and the executive team at the same time, at least once a month. The agenda here is a 15-minute readout on each initiative, just to ensure that the whole leadership team stays aligned. The outcome of this phase is a real plan with focused people and accountability for the financials that are allocated. And so is the time for your team when they go off and running, to get your strategy done. You just want to make sure everybody's focused and on the same page with these 2 meetings. So the first meeting being the one with just the executive team on a recurring basis every week to stay engaged and talking about these initiatives. And then that second meeting with your next level leaders and your executive team once a month, just to make sure that everybody stays on the same page and gets that strategy done. Now, it's a matter of making sure that just we're not handling any red tape. So we're going to talk about structure, but that's going to be what we're talking about next week. Cutting through all that red tape, making sure that you're structurally set up to be able to execute. Now I've got here a copy of what I showed you last week of that plan on a page. And I've highlighted here where your most core issues and your win wheel so that you can see where your main core issues are. And then across from that in box number 9 is your action initiative profiles. And you'll be able to see here how we have some sort of a dashboard. So we have everything on here on this plan that's really important for you and your team to be able to manage this at a higher level perspective. Well, I hope this helps you to think about your own strategic management system and understand the processes involved in getting you there so you can turn your vision into reality. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like button. Every like helps us to reach new people. And if you want to see new videos on leadership, strategy, and project management to help you with your business or career every week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Also, please let us know what your top leadership, strategy, and project management challenges are so that we can make some new videos in the future with your feedback. Thank you for watching. I'm Annette Blankenship, and I'll see you in the next video.